The title of my 3MT presentation is Ridding the World of Angelas. But don't worry, there's no violence involved. One of the main characters in the hit sitcom The Office is an uptight accountant named Angela, pictured at the top of my slide. She's self-righteous, judgmental, and a complete hypocrite. And of course, she's a Christian. Now, as a pastor, I often get frustrated with the way that Hollywood portrays Christians. But I also realize that the stereotypes ring true. Many Christians are judgmental and hypocritical. But why? No Christian wants to be an Angela. So how does it happen? Well, one reason is confusion around two aspects of Christianity I'll call grace and obedience. Grace means coming to believe that God loves us and is kind, generous, and forgiving. Obedience means loving God by serving him and living according to his commands. And both of these are valid and important. But when they get out of balance, it can create Angelas. As you can see on the left side of my slide, you lean too far toward grace, it can lead towards spiritual laziness and hypocrisy. People who say they're Christians, but their lives contradict that. On the other hand, you lean too far towards obedience, you can fall into legalism and become judgmental, where you assess everyone around you and yourself by your ability to keep the rules. And so for pastors and priests like myself who are tasked with teaching people what it means to be a Christian, it can be a real challenge to get this right. To try to teach people that God loves them as they are and calls them to change feels a bit like walking a tightrope. You lose your balance just a little either way, and you and your listeners may fall into the dangers below. But if you look at the right hand of my slide, there's another way to look at the relationship between grace and obedience that's not so much about balance as it is about movement from grace to obedience over the bridge of gratitude. Now, Christianity always starts with receiving God's grace, which should naturally lead to deep gratitude. And it's then that we express our gratitude by our obedience. Over 500 years ago, John Calvin made this grace, gratitude, obedience pattern central to his theology. More recently, John Barclay has highlighted this dynamic in first century Greco-Roman culture and in Paul's letters. And so my project will build on their work and incorporate some insights from its interdisciplinary studies in gratitude. And I'll present a framework for sermons that uses gratitude as a bridge between grace and obedience. My hope is that by helping preachers get this pattern right, more Christians will get it right, and there might just be a few less Angelas in the world.